Yahiko. Yahiko was born in the Land of Rain, one of the many orphan children created by the constant wars between larger nations. He grew up witnessing his people suffer from famine, exploitation, and the destruction caused by foreign shinobi using his country as a battlefield. These experiences made him ambitious and outspoken. He met Nagato and Konan as a child, and the three struggled to survive by stealing food and avoiding enemy patrols. When they encountered the Sannin Jiraiya, Yahiko convinced him to train them in ninjutsu so they could defend themselves. During this period, Yahiko emerged as the group's natural leader. His personality was fiery, charismatic, and idealistic. He believed peace could be achieved if people learned to understand one another. After Jiraiya left, Yahiko organized the first iteration of the Akatsuki, known as the Akatsuki of Peace. The group consisted of local villagers and outcasts who wanted to stop the wars ravaging their homeland. Yahiko's presence inspired loyalty. He viewed his organization not as a rebellion, but as a movement for peace and independence. The Akatsuki gained influence rapidly, which led Hanzo of the Salamander to perceive them as a threat. During the fateful meeting with Hanzo, Yahiko was forced into an impossible situation when Konan was taken hostage. Rather than let her die, Yahiko impaled himself on Nagato's kunai. His final act preserved the lives of his friends but destroyed the organization's ideals. His death became the emotional core of Nagato's later transformation into Pain. Nagato Pain. Nagato was an orphan from the Land of Rain whose parents were killed when they were mistaken for enemy intruders. The trauma awakened the Rinnegan that had secretly been implanted in him by Madara Uchiha. The eyes granted mastery over the Six Paths techniques, which controlled gravity, machinery, souls, and life itself. When Jiraiya found Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan, he trained them in ninjutsu. Nagato showed extraordinary talent and was believed to be the child of prophecy destined to bring peace to the world. Quiet and compassionate by nature, he longed to end the suffering caused by war. After Yahiko's death, Nagato's ideals collapsed. He came to believe that peace could only be achieved through pain. Using his Rinnegan, he created 6 corpse avatars known as the 6 Paths of Pain, modeled after the 6 realms of Buddhist cosmology: Deva, Asura, Human, Animal, Preta, and Naraka, each representing a different form of human suffering. Yahiko's body became the Deva Path, the leader seen by the world. Nagato controlled the 6 paths remotely from a chamber hidden within the tallest building of the village, hidden by rain. His real body was emaciated and supported by a mechanical frame that relayed chakra to each path. His most powerful techniques were Shinra Tensei, which could obliterate entire villages, and Chibaku Tensei, which compressed land into a floating sphere. His ultimate goal was to capture all 9-tailed beasts and use their power to force peace through fear. Konan. Konan was one of the 3 founders of the Akatsuki and the only woman to hold a leadership role in the organization. Orphaned during the Second Great Ninja War, she survived alongside Yahiko and Nagato, relying on each other as the conflict devastated their homeland. When Jiraiya trained the 3, Konan demonstrated talent for chakra control through her paper techniques. By infusing chakra into sheets of paper, she could form weapons, wings, and clones, or disperse her body into thousands of sheets to evade attacks. This ability became her signature jutsu, the dance of the Shikigami. After Yahiko's death, Konan became Nagato's partner and second-in-command of the reformed Akatsuki. Calm, precise, and disciplined, she handled logistics and reconnaissance while serving as the group's tactician. Her loyalty to Nagato was unwavering, but she never forgot Yahiko's original vision of peace. After Nagato's death, Konan took control of the village hidden by rain and guarded his Rinnegan. When Obito came to claim it, she fought him to the end, dying in defense of the peace Yahiko had once dreamed of. Daibutsu, Kie, and Kyusuke. Daibutsu, Ki, and Kyusuke were among the first members of Yahiko's Akatsuki of Peace. They belonged to the organization's earliest generation, when its goal was peace rather than power. Together with Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan, they worked to end the wars that consumed their homeland. Daibutsu was a tall, broad-shouldered shinobi known for his calm presence and strength in battle. He embodied the Akatsuki's original image as protectors of the people rather than outlaws. Ki and Kyusuke stood alongside Yahiko during his early campaigns for unity, spreading his message across the Land of Rain and defending villages caught between larger nations. Their loyalty and courage reflected the group's original purpose, to bring peace through understanding instead of violence. As the Akatsuki's influence grew, Hanzo of the Salamander, the leader of the village hidden by rain, saw them as a threat to his rule. He staged a false peace negotiation, using it as a trap to eliminate the group. During the ambush, Yahiko sacrificed himself to protect Konan, and Daibutsu, Kie, and Kyusuke were slaughtered by Obito on their way to assist Yahiko. Their deaths marked the end of the original Akatsuki and the beginning of Nagato's transformation into pain. Kakuzu. Kakuzu was one of the earliest recruits of Nagato's Akatsuki after the organization shifted from a peace movement to a military force. Originally from the hidden waterfall village, he was sentenced to execution for attempting to assassinate the first Hokage, a mission that left him bitter and disillusioned with his village. After escaping captivity, Kakuzu killed his elders and stole their hearts, using a forbidden technique that allowed him to extend his life indefinitely. His body was held together by black tendrils made of hardened chakra threads. These threads could detach, pierce enemies, and even stitch together his own wounds. Kakuzu used them to steal the still-beating hearts of powerful shinobi, each granting him a new elemental nature. He could maintain up to 5 hearts at once, giving him mastery over multiple chakra natures and allowing him to survive fatal injuries by replacing any heart that was destroyed. Before partnering with Hidan, Kakuzu was paired with an unnamed shinobi during the early years of Pain's Akatsuki. Little is known about this partner, but his presence confirms that Kakuzu was active during the second iteration of the group's formation. Despite the partner's strength, their alliance ended violently when Kakuzu killed him in one of his fits of frustration, an outcome that became a recurring pattern with his teammates. Kakuzu was motivated by greed more than ideology. He viewed loyalty as a financial arrangement and treated every mission as a transaction. Within the Akatsuki, he managed the group's funding, accepting bounty missions to maintain their resources. His immense durability and combat experience made him one of the organization's most dangerous fighters, capable of matching entire teams of Jonin at once. Kakuzu's end came after he was caught making a transaction to exchange corpses for money in the Land of Fire. After losing several of his hearts to Naruto's newly developed Rasen Shuriken, his body was torn apart at the cellular level, finally ending a life that had lasted for nearly a century. Sasori. Sasori was a puppet master from the hidden sand village and one of the earliest members to join Nagato's Akatsuki. As a child, he was known for his brilliance in crafting puppets, creating his first masterpieces under his grandmother Chiyo's tutelage. The death of his parents during the war left him emotionally detached and obsessed with preserving things that would never fade. Over time, that obsession evolved into an extreme pursuit of permanence. Sasori began converting human bodies into puppets, using his victims' flesh and chakra pathways to retain their abilities. Eventually, he turned himself into one, replacing nearly his entire body with mechanisms to achieve immortality. Only a small piece of flesh near his heart remained human. Sasori's greatest creations included the third Kazekage puppet, made from the corpse of the Sand's strongest leader, and the 100 puppet technique, which allowed him to control an entire army at once. His craftsmanship was so advanced that his puppets could use the same jutsu they had in life. Calm and analytical, Sasori viewed art as something eternal, a contrast to his partner Deidara, who believed art's beauty came from its impermanence. Despite his stoicism, he showed hints of humanity when facing his grandmother and Sakura, ultimately allowing them to land the finishing blow. Sasori's death marked the first major loss for the Akatsuki, but his legacy lived on through the countless puppets and poisons he left behind, symbols of his desire to make art that would never die. Orochimaru. Orochimaru was one of the legendary Sannin of the Hidden Leaf Village, and among the first major rogue ninja to join the Akatsuki after Nagato took control. Once celebrated as a genius of the leaf, he mastered nearly every known ninjutsu and studied immortality through forbidden experiments on living subjects. After his research was exposed, Orochimaru fled the leaf and joined the Akatsuki, where he was partnered with Sasori. Together, they formed one of the organization's most dangerous duos, blending Orochimaru's knowledge of human anatomy with Sasori's mastery of poison and puppetry. Orochimaru's abilities centered on regeneration and possession. He could shed his skin to survive mortal wounds and use the living corpse reincarnation technique to transfer his soul into new bodies. His serpent-based ninjutsu allowed him to summon the giant snake Manda and control swarms of serpents in battle. He also mastered Edo Tensei, the reanimation jutsu, capable of reviving the dead to fight for him. His partnership ended when he attempted to steal Itachi Uchiha's body after witnessing the power of his Sharingan. Failing to do so, he was forced to flee and became the Akatsuki's first traitor. Following his departure, Orochimaru founded the Hidden Sound Village, a false village created to mask his network of laboratories and test subjects. It served as both a military front and a base for his experiments on immortality. His time in the Akatsuki revealed what he truly sought, an existence without limits, where knowledge and power could never decay. Kisame Hoshigaki. Kisame Hoshigaki was a former shinobi of the Hidden Mist Village and a member of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist. Known as the Monster of the Hidden Mist, he earned his title through unmatched brutality and an enormous chakra reserve that rivaled a tailed beast. Disillusioned by the corruption in his village, Kisame defected and later joined Nagato's Akatsuki. He was partnered with Itachi Uchiha, forming one of the organization's most balanced duos, Kisame providing raw power and Itachi providing precision. Despite his violent nature, Kisame showed intelligence and discipline, trusting Itachi's judgment above his own. Kisame wielded Samehada, a living sword that devoured chakra instead of cutting flesh. The weapon could merge with its user, allowing Kisame to absorb chakra directly and regenerate injuries. When fully fused with Samehada, he gained a shark-like appearance, greater strength, and near-limitless stamina. His water-release ninjutsu were unmatched. Kisame could flood entire battlefields, trap enemies within a massive water dome, and fight as though underwater while opponents suffocated. Combined with his monstrous chakra reserves, he earned comparisons to the tailed beasts themselves. Loyal to the Akatsuki until the end, Kisame served as one of Nagato's most trusted enforcers. When captured during the Fourth Great Ninja War, he took his own life to prevent his secrets from being exposed, proving his absolute devotion to the cause he served. Itachi Uchiha. Itachi Uchiha was a prodigy of the Hidden Leaf's Uchiha clan and one of the youngest shinobi to ever join the Anbu. From childhood, he displayed extraordinary intelligence and combat ability, mastering advanced jutsu and awakening the Sharingan at an early age. When tensions rose between the Uchiha clan and the Leaf's leadership, Itachi was ordered by Konoha's elders to eliminate his clan to prevent a coup. Choosing loyalty to the village over his family, he carried out the massacre but spared his younger brother Sasuke. To protect Konoha's stability, Itachi then joined the Akatsuki as a spy, concealing his true allegiance. Within the organization, he was partnered with Kisame Hoshigaki. Their partnership combined precision and overwhelming power, Itachi leading with strategy and genjutsu, Kisame following with brute strength. Though calm and soft-spoken, Itachi's presence commanded respect, and even other S-rank members treated him with caution. Itachi's greatest weapon was his Mangekyo Sharingan, which granted access to powerful techniques. Tsukuyomi trapped enemies in a world of psychological torture. Amaterasu unleashed black flames that consumed anything in their path. His final defense, the Susanoo, summoned a spectral warrior armed with the Totsuka blade and Yata mirror, artifacts said to seal anything they touched and deflect all attacks. Years later, after his defeat by Sasuke, the truth about Itachi was revealed to Sasuke by Obito. His sacrifice preserved the village, and his loyalty to Konoha remained unbroken to the end. Juzo Biwa. Juzo Biwa was a former member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, and one of the earliest Hidden Mist shinobi to join the Akatsuki. Like Kisame Hoshigaki after him, Juzo carried one of the group's famed blades, the massive Kubikiri Bocho, or Executioner's Blade, capable of regenerating itself using the iron from an opponent's blood. Juzo's defection came during the Bloody Mist era, when the Hidden Mist village was ruled by brutality and internal assassination. Disillusioned by the endless cycle of killing, he abandoned the village and was later recruited into Nagato's Akatsuki. Within the organization, Juzo was partnered with Itachi Uchiha shortly after Itachi's defection from the Hidden Leaf. Their partnership was short-lived but highly efficient, combining Itachi's genjutsu precision with Juzo's raw strength and close-range combat skill. Juzo specialized in silent assassinations and water-style jutsu that enhanced his swordsmanship. He could flood battlefields to limit an enemy's movement, striking from the mist with overwhelming force. During a mission in the Land of Water, Juzo was fatally wounded in battle against the 4th Mizukage, Yagura Karatachi, who was secretly under Obito's control at the time. Juzo died soon after, and the Executioner's Blade was eventually returned to the Hidden Mist, later passing into the hands of Zabuza Momochi. Though his time in the Akatsuki was brief, Juzo's legacy bridged the organization's early alliances with the Bloody Mist, and foreshadowed Kisame's later role as Itachi's enduring partner, Deidara. Deidara was a rogue ninja from the Hidden Stone Village, and one of the youngest to ever join the Akatsuki. Originally an explosives expert trained under the stone's explosion core, he developed a unique form of combat art using special mouths on his palms to mold explosive clay. His techniques allowed him to create living sculptures that detonated with devastating precision. After stealing one of his village's forbidden techniques, Deidara became a wanted criminal. The Akatsuki later forced him to join after Itachi Uchiha defeated him in battle. Admiring Itachi's power but resenting his genjutsu, Deidara vowed to surpass the Uchiha and prove that his art was superior. Paired with Sasori, Deidara inherited his late partner's artistic philosophy but directly opposed it. Where Sasori believed true art was eternal, Deidara believed its beauty lay in impermanence, the fleeting moment of an explosion. His catchphrase, "Art is an explosion," defined both his fighting style and his worldview. Deidara's most powerful technique was C0, a final self-detonation that turned his entire body into a living bomb capable of erasing everything within kilometers. Other signature techniques included C1 and C2, which produced smaller explosives shaped as animals, and C3, a massive bomb that could annihilate entire villages. Impulsive yet brilliant, Deidara treated combat as performance art. Even in defeat, he maintained pride in his creations, seeing every explosion as proof that art, though temporary, could leave an eternal impression. Hidan. Hidan was a rogue ninja from the Hidden Hot Springs village and one of the last members to join the Akatsuki. He came from a small, peaceful nation that abandoned warfare, a philosophy he despised. Seeking purpose in bloodshed, he joined the cult of Jashin, a violent religion that worshipped destruction and death. Through ritual experiments, Hidan gained a form of immortality granted by Jashin's blessing. By ingesting an opponent's blood and performing a ritual within a drawn symbol, he created a link that allowed him to share their pain. Any injury he inflicted upon himself was mirrored on his victim, letting him kill targets by impaling his own body. Within the Akatsuki, Hidan was paired with Kakuzu. Their partnership was chaotic. Hidan's impulsive devotion to Jashin clashed with Kakuzu's greed and pragmatism. Despite constant arguments, their abilities complemented each other. Hidan could not die, and Kakuzu could reattach his body when dismembered. Together, they became one of the most efficient killing duos in the organization. Hidan fought with a three-bladed scythe designed to draw blood for his rituals. His immortality did not grant regeneration, however. He could feel pain and be immobilized if restrained. After killing Asuma Sarutobi of the Hidden Leaf, Hidan was defeated by Shikamaru Nara, who trapped him in a pit and buried him alive, ending his role in the Akatsuki. Zetsu. Zetsu was one of the earliest members of the Akatsuki and served as the organization's spy, messenger, and cleanup operative. Unlike other members, Zetsu was a fusion of two entities, White Zetsu and Black Zetsu, each with distinct origins and personalities. White Zetsu originated from the victims of Kaguya Otsutsuki's infinite Tsukuyomi during ancient times. He possessed a plant-like body, could merge with the earth, and travel undetected across great distances. His abilities made him ideal for reconnaissance and recovery missions. Black Zetsu, by contrast, was not human at all. It was a physical manifestation of Kaguya Otsutsuki's will, created to orchestrate her resurrection. Black Zetsu secretly manipulated events for centuries, influencing the creation of the Akatsuki, and even the actions of Madara Uchiha and Obito Uchiha to revive its creator. Together, the two halves formed a single being with unmatched stealth. Zetsu could clone himself, devour corpses to erase evidence, and act as a living communication network for the Akatsuki. While the organization viewed him as a support operative, his true purpose was far greater. In the end, Black Zetsu revealed its deception during the Fourth Great Ninja War, betraying Madara and helping to resurrect Kaguya. It was ultimately sealed away along with its creator, ending a scheme that had spanned the entire shinobi history. Obito Uchiha, Tobi. Obito Uchiha was a former Leaf shinobi who was believed to have died during the Third Great Ninja War. Crushed under debris while saving Kakashi Hatake, his right side was destroyed, and the trauma awakened his Sharingan. Rescued by Madara Uchiha, Obito was kept alive using Hashirama's cells and slowly manipulated into adopting Madara's ideology. Under Madara's influence, Obito came to believe that the world could never know true peace and that reality itself must be replaced. After Madara's death, Obito took his name and continued his plan to cast the world into the infinite Tsukuyomi, a genjutsu that would trap all living beings in an eternal dream. Operating under the alias Tobi, he infiltrated Nagato's Akatsuki and presented himself as a subordinate, masking his true identity behind a childish demeanor. In secret, he directed the organization's major operations and used Nagato's Rinnegan to further Madara's plan. Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan granted him the ability Kamui, a space-time technique that allowed him to teleport parts of his body into another dimension. This made him nearly invulnerable in combat and capable of instantaneous travel. After Nagato's death, Obito revealed himself as the true leader of the Akatsuki. He declared the start of the Fourth Great Ninja War to seize all the tailed beasts and fulfill the Eye of the Moon plan. Though his war devastated nations, Obito ultimately turned against his own creation, helping Naruto and Kakashi defeat Madara before dying in redemption. Sasuke's associate Akatsuki. After Nagato's death, the Akatsuki weakened, leaving Obito to rebuild its ranks under his control. During this time, Sasuke Uchiha and his team, formerly known as Taka, temporarily allied with the Akatsuki, operating as its associate branch rather than full members. Originally formed as Hebi, Sasuke's team consisted of Suigetsu Hozuki, Karin Uzumaki, and Jūzō, all recruited from Orochimaru's former experiments. Their original goal was to locate and kill Itachi Uchiha. After Itachi's death and Sasuke's confrontation with Obito, the group's purpose shifted. Convinced that Konoha's elders had manipulated his brother into murdering their clan, Sasuke turned his hatred toward the Hidden Leaf. Obito exploited this rage, convincing Sasuke to join forces with the Akatsuki. Under Obito's command, Taka was tasked with capturing the Eight Tails Jinchuriki, Killer Bee of the Hidden Cloud. Although the mission failed, this alliance officially tied Sasuke's group to the Akatsuki's operations. Each member of Taka brought unique abilities to the partnership. Suigetsu could liquefy his body to avoid attacks. Karin possessed advanced sensory perception and healing abilities through her chakra. Jūzō, whose body contained unstable natural energy, could transform his flesh into weapons using his clan's Cursed Seal mutation. Together, they gave Obito a temporary field unit capable of rivaling entire squads of elite shinobi. Sasuke's association with the Akatsuki ended when he turned against Obito and declared his own path. His time under the Akatsuki's banner marked the organization's final expansion, an uneasy alliance driven by revenge rather than ideology. Shin Uchiha. Shin Uchiha was a former test subject of Orochimaru who emerged long after the fall of the original Akatsuki during the Boruto era. Unlike the true members of Nagato's organization, Shin was not connected to its original leadership, but instead sought to revive its name and ideology in his own image. Obsessed with the concept of evolution through conflict, Shin believed that peace made humanity stagnant. He adopted the Akatsuki's name, symbols, and cloaks as a tribute to what he saw as their legacy of war and change. His goal was not to restore Nagato's vision of forced peace, but to create a world in perpetual struggle, where only the strongest survived. Shin's body was unique, composed entirely of cloned genetic material derived from Itachi Uchiha's DNA. His cells accepted all transplants, allowing him to host countless Sharingan across his body without rejection. Through self-cloning, he created a group of identical sons that obeyed his commands and served as his makeshift Akatsuki. His primary ability was the use of space-time telekinesis, manipulating weapons marked with his special seals. This allowed him to control blades and projectiles mid-air with perfect precision. Combined with his multiple Sharingan and advanced combat intellect, Shin became a formidable threat despite lacking the original Uchiha bloodline's emotional depth. Shin's ambition ended when he confronted Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha in an attempt to reignite the Akatsuki name. The battle ended in his defeat when his own clones rebelled against him. His downfall marked the final echo of the Akatsuki legacy, its name surviving only as a shadow of what once was, long after Nagato's dream and the age of true shinobi war had passed. Comment your favorite Akatsuki member, like and subscribe.